Welcome everybody to the X Factor Podcast, episode 9 here live. Today we're in a great Saturday afternoon for some of you, Saturday morning for people in other countries, whatever. We're going to be going over March Madness, the first round, and then we're going to be going through some SmackDown from last night, and then we're going to be going through AEW Rampage last night. And if you're not really much of a wrestling fan, you don't really want to hear wrestling, then whenever I get to that wrestling part, you don't really have to watch if you don't want to. But if you like long podcasts that you get to sit back, listen to while you're playing a game or whatever, and the right one right for you. I do have a couple comments from the last episode asking for a cameraman, or not cameraman, face cam. That will be coming soon, later down the road, and talk about life experiences. Life experiences, I will get into a different story, because that's gonna be a whole episode to talk about. I will get that done sometime next week. Life experiences about my life, what I've been through, what I've hoping to get done with life. And what I've learned throughout the 17 years I've been alive. And so I will be going over that, and I'll be going over all that next week. So today we're going to be going over SmackDown, Rampage, and March Madness stuff. I will be going over NASCAR stuff too, because the Truck Series is on today at 1 in my area. And then the Xfinity Series will be on right after that, and then the Cup Series will be on tomorrow. And then I will be going over Formula 1, because I'm watching my first ever Formula 1 race tomorrow. So let's get right into the March Madness though here. The first match, I'm going to be going to the south part of the bracket. Alabama beat Corpus Christi, or whatever you call it, 96-75. I didn't really expect much from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Alabama destroyed them 96-75. I did get that one right, so I'm right now 1-0. Maryland versus West Virginia. I had Maryland winning. They did end up winning 67-65. And I actually watched this one. It was a really good matchup throughout the entire game. And then San Diego defeated Charleston, and I had that one. So right now I'm 3-0 in my picks. But then I got this one wrong. Virginia versus Furman. Furman won 68-67 off a game-winning shot at the end. I just want to know what the hell that Virginia player was doing. I get he was trying to get the ball down to one of his teammates, but man, having to chuck it that much, bro, Jesus Christ. So, I got that wrong. So right now I'm 3-1. So, and I'll also be going over the next round of 32. So. Creighton beat North Carolina State. I had North Carolina State winning. So right now I'm 3-2. I had Baylor winning, and they did win 74-56 versus UCSB. Some of these I did not watch. So the ones I didn't watch, I'll just say who won and if I got them right. So 1, 2, 3, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2 so far. I had Missouri beating Utah State. Missouri did end up with the win, so great one for me. And then I had Princeton losing to Arizona, but Arizona ended up freaking losing, man. That one, I watched the second half of that game. That one hurt a little bit, because I think I had Arizona going to my Elite 8, I think. So, but the Purdue one I'm going to be talking about right here. Purdue, you're a bunch of fucking bums. I'm telling you that right now. Purdue, you're a bunch of fucking bums for what you did yesterday. Losing to a team called fucking Dixon? Bro. I'd rather lose to fucking Oral Roberts. Like, come on, dude. I had Purdue going to my Final Four, and you guys end up losing. So, not really on my happy mood today. Memphis, same with you guys. I had you guys winning, and you guys fucking lost the game-winning shot too. But Purdue didn't even lose off a game-winning shot, so yeah. So, and then Memphis ends up losing off a game-winning shot to FAU. I had FAU losing so I got that one wrong. Duke beat Oral Roberts. I had Duke winning. I had Tennessee winning against Louisiana. I had Tennessee did win. Kentucky beat Providence, which I had Kentucky winning. Kansas State, I had them beating Montana State, which they did. I had USC beating Michigan State, and, well, Michigan State ended up with a win. I had Marquette beating Vermont. That did happen. Houston defeated Kentucky, as I had. And then Iowa ends up losing to Auburn after I had Auburn losing to Iowa. And I'm an Iowa fan, so I was going to go biased. But either way, I had Iowa losing next round to Houston. So, I just want to know who gave Iowa the Russell Westbrook juice. Because, like, throughout the first half, they were just bricking most of their shots, especially the 3-point. So, and it seems like they just couldn't catch up to them. Like, there was a point where they were tied, and then in the first half, and then after that, they just, got tumbled. Miami defeated Drake 63-56. Indiana beat Kent State. I had Kent State beating Indiana. Iowa State, I had them winning. They got freaking destroyed 59-41. And then I had Xavier beating Kenshaw State, which happened. I had Texas A&M losing to beating Penn State, and, well, Penn State did win. I had Texas beating Colgate, and Texas ended up winning. Kansas versus Howard, I had Kansas did win over Howard. I had Illinois beating Arkansas, and, well, I got that one wrong. St. Mary, I had them beating VCU, and they did win. UConn, I had them winning. They did win. TCU defeated Arizona State. Gonzaga defeated Grand Canyon. Northwestern defeated Boise State, and I had Boise State winning. And then UCLA beat UNC Asheville. So, hopefully I get this round right. So, I'm gonna go through this next round here. I'm gonna say who I think is gonna win. I do think UCLA is gonna beat Northwestern. I think Gonzaga is gonna defeat TCU. I think UConn is going to defeat St. Mary. I have Kansas beating Arkansas. I think Texas is going to beat Penn State. Xavier is going to defeat Pittsburgh. Indiana is going to beat Miami. And I have Houston beating Auburn. I have Marquette defeating Michigan. I have Kansas State defeating Kentucky. I have Duke defeating Tennessee. I have FAU beating Dixon. So I don't think Dixon's going to get past this next round. Missouri is going to beat Princeton. Baylor is going to defeat Creighton. Actually, Furman and San Diego State are going right now. I was going to go San Diego State. I didn't even realize they were playing right now. So I do think San Diego State is going to win. And they are up at half. So, and I have Alabama defeating Maryland. So let's get right into SmackDown talk here. Alright, so this is gonna get interesting here because I do have a lot of SmackDown stuff going on from this past last night here. It started off with Cody Rhodes, the Royal Rumble winner, coming out. He came out and, well, he starts off by saying he respected Roman Reigns, which surprisingly because of what Roman did a couple weeks ago to him, and that he was the best champion around, like best ever. And well, after that, he pretty much said he was looking forward to beat Roman. He was looking forward to see Roman and beating him at WrestleMania. And then, well, he wanted to talk to Kevin Owens from what happened on Monday. Kevin Owens does come out, and he talks to Kevin. But then he also gets Sami to come out, which kind of, tricks Kevin Owens here. And Sami Zayn comes out, and Sami's trying to talk to him, but, and Cody pretty much goes on to tell Kevin that everyone wants them two on the same page. Because after what happened at the Rumble and all that, they just want them all on the same page. And KO doesn't want to fight Sami, or he doesn't want to fight the Bloodline with Sami if they're not going to be friends, kind of. So, the first segment they had was really great because Sami and Kevin, it was like a therapy session out there with them two, and Sami's trying to tell Kevin that they don't have to be friends, they just have to go out and take down the Bloodline, which is what everyone's been trying to do. And well, Kevin's like, well, I'm not gonna fight with you if you're not gonna want to be my friend or whatever. So they left. and Kevin left, and then there's a segment right after that where Kevin goes to his car and Sami, wants to be friends, and then says Kevin that he loves him, which knowing the history between Sami and Kevin, that's a lot of fans are going wild for that one, and then Kevin ends up leaving after that. And I'll get more into that later on because more stuff did happen later last night. Santos Escobar and Zelina Vega faced Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio in a tag match, mixed tag match. And it was a good match last night. I don't think we haven't seen Zelina Vega in a ring in a while. I don't think we have, at least. And besides the Rumble, of course. But she looked really good yesterday after the Munchies took off and then having to wrestle just at the Rumble and then all that. She looked really good last night. But Rhea and Dom ended up winning. Dom, they had a segment afterward where Dom's pretty much saying the same thing about Ray, disrespectful, deadbeat dad, father, whatever. Pretty much saying he was he was never there and all that, which every wrestler's child has to deal with that. So Ray comes out, and then after the commercial he comes out because they showed him coming. And then Rhea, Ray just wanted to talk to Dom by himself. Ray goes on saying that Dom is Ray's world and all that, and it's saying that the wrestling business is selfish. And Ray wanted Dom to have a life that Ray couldn't have, pretty much. Which I think that's what every parent's dream is, to have their kid have a better life than what they had. Because if I was a father, I would want that too, to have my child have a better life than me. So, but Ray wanted Dom on stage for his Hall of Fame induction because, Ray did get inducted to the Hall of Fame. And then, they kind of teased the Ray versus Dom, and Ray's like, I'm not fighting my child. Which, Ray, it's okay to beat your children. Like I've said, you're just being a bitch. So, and then Ray ends up leaving, and Dom saying the same thing he's been saying for months now. The next matchup, well, they announced this. They're having showcase matches for WrestleMania, which I don't know what the hell a showcase match is, because they're going to have these qualifying matches for men and women. They're tag matches, and that WrestleMania will be fatal 4-way tag matches at WrestleMania. But they'll be since I kind of think they're going to have 2 SmackDown teams, 2 Raw teams, but they start off with the women's tag teams here. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeated, had a match with Emma and Tegan Knox where Raquel and Liv ended up winning. And I didn't realize Emma and Tegan really, I forgot they're still in the company because we haven't seen them in forever. So Liv and Raquel, first tag team announced to be in there. Going over the tag teams, I think Shayna and Ronda Rousey will be the next team in the SmackDown part. Which, as much as I hate Ronda Rousey, I do think that's what's going to happen. And then the Raw side of things. Ooh, that's a hard one to think about. Maybe we could... no, Damage Control. I'll go over the like I said, next week I'm going to... I did say I was going to do it today, but I'm going to postpone it again. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to do it all Monday. I'm going to go over some of it Monday, and then... Well, I'll just go over the Raw roster on Monday, the NXT roster on Tuesday, AEW roster Wednesday, and then I'll do SmackDowns on Friday. And I think that's how I'll go. Ric Flair. Charlotte had a segment, and pretty much saying she was born and raised as a champion. LA was built for her. And every WrestleMania she's been in, she's either been the challenger or the champion. And she's calling herself an all-star, and well, pretty much she's the greatest women's wrestler of all time, in my opinion. Calling Rhea Ripley a wannabe. Can't become champion until she beat her, pretty much. And then Then Rhea comes out, says she wants to. She will go back to Bianca at some point. She'll try to go back to her. But the reason she picked Charlotte is because, in the locker room, everyone fears Rhea, but none of them, but Charlotte don't fear her. Which is understandable because, Rhea Ripley's kind of like this generation's version of China. And that's going to knock a couple old people's nerves here, but if you really think about it, Eddie had China back in 1999, 2000, somewhat, early 2000s. And who does Dom have? Dom has Rhea Ripley. So, and Rhea pretty much says it pisses her off that Charlotte doesn't fear her. And that Rhea wants, she needs to win the title, and then ends up, and Dom ends up coming in the middle of it and says that Rhea was going to beat her, and then Rhea hits Charlotte with the title. And then they start attacking for 4 or 5 minutes. It was just a complete brawl. And, they haven't had really much of a build-up going up to this point. It was pretty much just, that one segment they had a couple weeks ago where the mommy thing and all that. And then, and then going into it, it was going into tonight, and everyone's thinking, it's going to be Sami, Kevin, and the Usos at the main event, or the night one main event. But then, people are saying it's going to be Charlotte and Rhea. But now they're trying to pick up the Charlotte and Rhea thing, and there's only 2 weeks left till WrestleMania. I think a lot of the build-ups, a lot of matches have not really had much of build-up going into WrestleMania. Roman and Cody really haven't had much of a build-up besides Paul and the times that them two have been together. The only really big match that we've seen a build-up that's pretty decent to is Usos and Kevin and Sami. And, it was Bobby and Bray for a little bit, and then something happened with Bray, and, and then Omos and Brock, they had won the other night, or on Monday, so, like I said, a lot of the matches that they've been trying to put up have never been built well, and there's only 2 weeks left till WrestleMania, so hopefully they start picking up on that. Hopefully we see Cena more, because, they announced that match last week for Cena versus Theory, so, but let's get back right into SmackDown. Sami had an interview, and if he's and he pretty much the whole point of the interview, he says, if he's the problem, he's the one who should be handling it by himself. So, and they did deal with it later on that night. Xavier Woods versus LA Knight in a 2-minute matchup. LA Knight loses off a roll-up. LA Knight needs to get pushed. LA Knight, he's special. He's good. And he's only 38, so hopefully he gets a push that he needs. Drew versus Sheamus, match of the night, probably match of the week. WWE-wise, at least. It was a freaking amazing matchup. And pretty much the winner got to face a Gunther at WrestleMania. It ended up being a double disqualification. And, we got a triple threat. Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Like we've all predicted. I predicted it last week when it happened. So, as of who I think is going to win, I think Gunther's still winning. I think Gunther's going to hold the title until at least next SummerSlam or whatever, the upcoming SummerSlam. I think he's going to beat the Honky Tonk Man's record for the longest Intercontinental reign of all time. So, and then LA Knight had a backstage segment and pretty much saying he can take out Dom and making fun of Ray and pretty much, I don't know what Ray was talking in his language, but whatever. All I know is he punched LA Knight, and that was some funny shit right there. So after that, Sami and Jay had a segment, and Jay we all knew Jay could never trust Sami up until, probably the War Games, but then Jay ends up calling him a fake ass oos, and that shocked a couple nerves from some people. Because of what's happening. But and then Sami goes on saying that, the only reason Jay's mad is because, Sami was the first one to get the Roman, not Jay. And we've seen the problems that Jay and Roman have had since Roman has had that title. Nearly 3 years at this point. Ended up with some cool brawls, and it came up with a brawl and everything, and Kevin Owens comes out after Jay and Jimmy are taking out Sami, and let's just say they hugged it out finally after weeks and weeks of teasing it. They finally hug it out. Hopefully Ray can punch, and I'm gonna say something right here. And Cody did set this up for Sami and Kevin. I'm hoping Cody can convince Ray that he can beat his child next week. I'm just saying. So, Sami and Kevin are now on the same page. I do believe they'll face the Usos at WrestleMania. I do think they'll beat the Usos. And then, because of Cody Rhodes and Roman, I do think Cody is still beating Roman. I don't give a damn if the 1,000 days are coming up for Roman. He can lose the world title because, he hasn't held the world title for nearly 900 some days. He's held the Universal title for some 900 some days. So, even if he just loses the world title, his credibility will still be down just from that title loss. But as long as he's still holding that Universal title, they can have a match at WrestleMania, right? Where Cody Rhodes versus Roman at WrestleMania. Cody beats Roman for the world title. And if they wanted to, the next month they could have Cody versus Roman for the Universal title because Cody thinks he could beat him again. And then Roman ends up beating him for the Universal to retain the Universal title. So if they really want, it'd be a silly way, but that's pretty much how I think it should go. I think this time's Cody Rhodes' time. I don't give a damn what people say. So, sorry I'm trying to rush into things. I kind of got this up late. So I will be going over Rampage here now, so let's get right into Rampage. Alright, so the first thing that happened on Rampage, Powerhouse Hobbs faces Rey Fenix for the TNT title. It was a really good matchup. Throughout the entire thing, I thought it was a good matchup. Powerhouse Hobbs ends up with the win. And honestly, I thought Wardlow was going to come out, but I forgot what happened at Rampage or Dynamite and all that. So Powerhouse Hobbs wins in a really good match. As of what's next for Powerhouse Hobbs, I think Wardlow is slowly going to go after him after that. Rey Fenix, him and Penta are going to go after the Ring of Honor tag titles. So, Taya Valkyrie faced Ava Lawless, which is it was a local name around. So, Taya Valkyrie ends up winning the match. Big, fast match, pretty much. Nothing really much happened. Pretty much just opening her way up through the women's division, going out to go after Jade Cargill. I do think Jade Cargill is going to lose to her. So, one thing, though, I did find weird. So, Daddy Magic and Angelo Parker had a match versus the Bollywood Boys. And, Bollywood Boys have been much of a AW Dark and Elevation tag team. I want to know why they had such a long match. They're trying to prove themselves, as the tag team, but yet they're going 5-6 minutes with a freaking tag team that doesn't get shown on TV. I don't know. All I know is Daddy Magic and them ended up with the win, and that's all that matters. Not really much to talk about on Rampage. Don Callis, I've been looking forward for this. Still looking forward to this moment. Don Callis still trying to recruit Konosuke Takeshita. I'm looking forward to when it does happen. When Konosuke does want to go to Don Callis. If he does. I want to see it happen, man. I do really want to see. Because I think a heel Konosuke would be amazing. I do think it would happen. And, if you want to become a heel, Don Callis, boom, right there. Everyone hates him. Because if Kenny ends up wanting to go to WWE later this year, boom, perfect for Konosuke to take over for Kenny. So, main event was Daniel Garcia versus Brody King. I thought that was a really good match as well. I did think the wrong person won that match. I do think Brody King should have won that because he only gets really shown for the House of Black stuff. And he did get a little bit of a title match last year versus Moxley, which Moxley ends up beating him. And then, he ends up losing to Garcia here, which I think Garcia should have lost that. But But then again, Jericho helped him win, so so not really much happened. That's all I pretty much got for today. A short Rampage review. Monday, I'm gonna go over what's gonna go on next week. So Monday, probably we're gonna go over I'm gonna go over the NASCAR races from this past weekend. I'm gonna go over the Monday Night Raw roster, and remember, I'm gonna go through each category, see who fits in what category, like world title and all that stuff. And then I'm gonna go over the NFC East, the whole team. I'm gonna go over that. I'm gonna do the mock draft for each one. Actually, I'll do the first mock draft on Tuesday, but I'll do all that on Monday. Tuesday, the first mock draft. Monday Night Raw review. Pretty much all that's what we got for there. Wednesday, I'll be going over NXT. Oh, and I'll also be going over March Madness too throughout this week as well. And I'll also be going through NFL talk throughout this week as well too. So, and then Thursday I'll be going through life experiences, like someone commented. Thursday will be life experiences episode. I'll be going over what I've what has been through my life. I'll tell you more about myself throughout that episode, and then Friday I will or I'll probably do it Friday, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna write down what I'm gonna do, and I'll and you'll find out. So I will see everyone on Monday. You guys will hear me on Monday, and I won't see you on Monday. Y'all stay blessed. Have a good rest of the weekend. Don't do drugs. Have a nice day.